heard a little bit of bad news about Big Y. That just came in like moments before we just tapped in.
Nah, no doubt, man. And I when you told me that, man, I was kind of like, damn, man, because I fucked with Big Y, hung out with him, every time I got a chance to, man. And just good people, homie. Matter of fact, I just did a video last week on Instagram. I was in the garage lifting some weights, man, and I had the Relatives bumping. And but me and Y go back, man, and rest in peace, man. Send my condolences to his family, to his daughter, man. And that was unexpected for me, because I remember seeing him, he was doing videos, trying to drop some of the weight, taking his little boxing classes and stuff like that, man. But I guess it took a turn for the worse. I didn't know if he was diabetic or what kind of situation he was in. But rest in peace, homie, to the Inglewood General.
Yeah, man, I saw him trying to get in shape, man, but maybe it was just a little too late because he was, I don't know how many pounds overweight he was, but our hearts can't endure all that weight, as we get into our older years, man. And I thought he was going to, drop all that weight, and it seemed like he was in the gym every day doing his thing, but unfortunately, from what I'm hearing, he passed just recently. I heard a report a few days ago that he was. Did you hear anything about Big Y a few days ago that he was ill?
I didn't hear about it till after you let me know what happened. I called Tup. You know what I mean? The Tup said he talked to his daughter yesterday, and he was apparently he's haven't been doing good recently. So I wasn't aware of that. So like I say, Tup said he gonna tap back in with his daughter, to send his condolences. But he said he had heard from her, and he wasn't doing too good. That was yesterday, But he was cool, but he wasn't doing too hot, recently. So I didn't know that. So like I say, man, when I got the news, it was just, like, damn, you know what I mean? He was a good
Yeah.
homie for sure, homie. Represented that ING, mafia, you know what I mean? And like I say, but Y was a good dude all the way around, man.
Now you sent me a picture. Is that something that we can share, or that's
Oh
just a
yeah,
private?
yeah. Nah. That was at like I say, I fuck with Big Y. You know what I mean? So, on that one we was at the GS that night, man, for a minute. He used to be up there all the time, doing a little lightweight, like hosting, you know what I mean? And then that day, that was the homie TP from San Diego, Emerald Hills, birthday party. We was all up there, man. It was Big Y chilling me. That's Big TP in the front. The one in the front, that's the one his son play in the NFL. We just spoke about him not too long ago. He also passed away. Rest in peace. Man, we just losing good dudes, man. And if you look at these dudes, they relatively young, man. You know what I mean? Early 50s, And but yeah, Big Y, man, rest in peace, homie.
Yeah, he also he made a big name for himself with that group that he produced.
Damn, was it
That
Criminals Army? What was the name of that group? Damn,
the
yeah, they had a big hit. They had a nice hit on that group he had.
Wasn't it the teach me how to Dougie group?
Teach Me How to Dougie group, but I can't remember the name offhand. But yeah, that was his group. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And so yeah, man, like I say, but he was a real homie though in the street. He wasn't just no rapper. You know what I mean? Some of these dudes really just be rappers, and they out of a neighborhood or lived in a neighborhood. You know what I mean? And things of that nature, homie. But Big Y was real Damu. You know what I mean? So Cali Swag District. That was the name of that group, Cali Swag District, man. And so like I say, a lot of these dudes just come up in the turf now. Big Y is a real Crenshaw Mafia, man. And like I said, I had the pleasure to shit. We did all kind of little shit together, hanging out, and like I say, man, rest in peace to him, man.
yeah, for sure, man. I've met him a couple of times during the whole Cali Swag. I guess the whole Cali Swag wave, and then they lost a guy back in the day named M Bone from Cali Swag back in like 2010 or 11.
Yeah, I remember that situation, man. And young cats, Alex, young
Yeah,
cats. With potential though. Potential to go, but let's be clear, man. Like I say, man, you got some dudes that grow up in some of these neighborhoods that rap, you know what I mean? And you got some, and they rappers, from a neighborhood, and some of these dudes be gangsters that rap, and definitely when the relatives came through, man, like they came through so hard, man. Look, I go through the Five Dudes Hoovers one night, and them dudes out there bumping the relatives. I mean, loud as can be. I mean, that's how hard they was. You know what I mean? Sometimes music just so good, you don't matter who do it, you're gonna bump it. And that was Big Y, and that was the relatives, and they got a lot of hits, man, that I fuck with, but I know the Crenshaw Mafias, like right now, like I said, I also send my condolences to them. He's a real dude over there, man, and it was a pleasure knowing him.